My sister accused me of poisoning her at our father's funeral. Her meal delivery app history proved something worse. My sister Lauren collapsed during our father's eulogy and pointed at me with a shaking hand while paramedics loaded her onto a stretcher. She screamed that I'd poisoned her coffee that morning, that I'd been trying to kill her for weeks, that I wanted Dad's inheritance all to myself. 80 people in the funeral home chapel went silent and stared as Lauren convulsed and vomited into a basin the paramedics provided. Her fiancé Derek rushed to her side while my Aunt Judith grabbed my arm and demanded to know what I'd done. I stood frozen at the podium where I'd been delivering Dad's eulogy, the printed pages shaking in my hands, unable to process what was happening. Lauren and I had made the coffee together that morning in Dad's kitchen. We'd used the same pot, the same cups, the same cream from the same carton. I'd watched her pour her own coffee and add 2 sugars exactly as she always did. If the coffee had been poisoned, I would be sick too. But I felt fine while Lauren was being rushed to the hospital with what the paramedics said looked like severe poisoning. Detective Raymond Foster approached me while the funeral home staff tried to calm the crowd and asked me to come to the station for questioning. I said I wanted my lawyer present. Foster's expression hardened and he told me not to leave town. The funeral ended in chaos. Guests left quickly while whispering and staring. My wife Anna grabbed our 2 kids and got them into the car before anyone could question them. Anna had been sitting in the front row with me when Lauren collapsed. She'd seen me at the podium the entire time, had seen Lauren drinking coffee that morning from the same pot we'd all shared. Anna told me in the car that something was very wrong with this situation because Lauren's accusation made no sense. I asked Anna what she meant. She reminded me that Lauren had been complaining about feeling sick for the past 3 weeks, ever since Dad had been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Lauren had been posting on social media about mysterious stomach issues, unexplained nausea, and feeling weak. At the time, we'd all attributed it to stress about Dad's condition. But now Lauren was saying I'd been poisoning her for weeks, which meant she'd been building a narrative before this public accusation. Anna asked if Lauren had any reason to want me blamed for something. I thought about Dad's will and felt my stomach drop. Dad had divided his estate equally between Lauren and me in his original will, written 15 years ago. But 6 months ago, after Lauren's 3rd failed business venture that Dad had funded, he'd revised the will to give me controlling interest in his commercial real estate company, while Lauren received cash and property worth the same monetary value but no business control. Lauren had been furious when Dad told us about the change. She'd argued that she deserved the company because she'd been working in real estate for years, while I was just a high school math teacher with no business experience. Dad had said that was exactly why I was getting the company, because Lauren had proven she couldn't manage money or make sound business decisions. He'd said I could hire professional management, while Lauren would just run the company into the ground within 2 years. Lauren had left Dad's house that day, saying she'd make him regret the decision. 3 weeks later, Dad collapsed from what doctors initially thought was a severe stomach virus. By the time they diagnosed the cancer, it had already metastasized throughout his body. He died 6 weeks after diagnosis, never changing the will again. I called my attorney Benjamin Cross from the car and explained Lauren's accusation. Benjamin listened carefully, then told me to come to his office immediately before talking to police. He said if Lauren was accusing me of attempted murder, especially poisoning, I needed to prepare for serious legal trouble even if the accusation was false. At his office, Benjamin laid out the situation clearly. Lauren's accusation, made in front of 80 witnesses at an emotionally charged funeral, would be investigated thoroughly. If toxicology reports showed poison in Lauren's system, I'd be arrested regardless of my innocence. We needed to build a defense immediately. I told Benjamin about the will and Lauren's anger over losing control of Dad's company. Benjamin asked if I'd had any contact with poisons or toxic substances. I said no. I taught algebra and geometry. I didn't even keep pesticides in my garage. Benjamin asked about Lauren's fiancé Derek. I knew Derek had proposed to Lauren 6 months ago, right around the time Dad changed his will. Derek worked in pharmaceutical sales and had access to medications and potentially toxic substances. Benjamin made notes and said we needed to investigate Derek's background and financial situation. And that's when things took a turn I never expected. To see the full story, click the link below or go on my channel.